I have a small book haul of historical fiction books. Now, some of these books have been on my TBR list for a very long time. And what I like to do is every month I like to pick a theme for the month because I always get books on book sales, Pingo books, things like that. And in order for me to tackle majority of my TBR list, I like to do a theme every single month. However, there is a specific era that I really have not gotten into, and that's pretty much anything Tudor period and earlier, which is where I really want to start focusing on majority. Probably the rest of the year will be focusing on. So if you like historical fiction books and reviews and just anything to do with books, definitely subscribe to my channel. All right, now I only have about, I think, 13 books here. So let's get started. All right, the first book is going to be Eleanor of Avignon, I think is how you pronounce it. This is about a woman that is a midwife slash nurse, and I believe it is this is 14th century. And this book also takes place during the Black Death. So I guess this is kind of about her being an apprentice during the Black Death. I thought this was very interesting and right up my alley. I'm very excited to read this one. Now this book is a thick one. This one is going to take me a while to do. This is Kristen Lavransdatter. I can't really pronounce that, but it's basically about what it was like to be in the 14th century in Norway. Like I said, I have not read a whole lot from this era, so this is a huge commitment for me. All right, the next one, we're even going further back in history, Nefertiti. I don't know a whole lot about Egyptian history, so I'm really excited to read this one and to educate myself on it. I've heard of Nefertiti in several different documentaries and stuff, so I wanted to read this one just to get a little more background on her as a person. I want to read something like this, so this should be very interesting. This next book is very popular in the historical fiction, Circa. This book is more, I would say, Greek mythology. I really don't know much about Greek mythology at all. I read, what was it, Odyssey? I read the Odyssey in like the 8th grade. And I don't remember anything from it. I am not up to knowledge as far as the gods and goddesses of Greek mythology, so I'm excited to read something that can educate me. Now, this next book I've heard is kind of hard to read, and it will be The Dove Keepers. Now, this is about 900 Jews that were held in the Judean desert 2,000 years ago and how very few of them survived. This kind of sounds right up my alley. I like sad and depressing things. What can I say? So I've heard mixed reviews on this one. Next book is another big commitment. The Memoirs of Cleopatra. I have read Cleopatra's Daughter. I have not read anything specifically about Cleopatra. Obviously, I've heard of her through many documentaries and things like that. So I've never read anything just about her. So this is a big commitment and I think I'm ready for it. This next book is kind of a shorter book. I mean, compared to the other ones, The Bronze Bow. Now this one is more about avenging death, and that is always up my alley. So I can imagine it's going to be action-packed. Should be, but we'll see. All right, this is another one based off of the Troy and Greek War, Song of Achilles. This one has been on my TBR list for years. I have heard great things about this book, and it better live up to that expectation because I have very high expectations of this book. And this next book, I really have not heard a lot of people talk about it, but I saw that it was pretty highly rated on Goodreads, Between Two Fires. Now this one is about a priest, an orphan, and a knight that travel through medieval times together. Somehow their journeys come together, they support each other. Kind of reminds me a little bit of The Princess Bride. That's kind of what I'm thinking when I hear this. So this one should be interesting. Now this next book I am reading for my book club, Wayward. I did have this one on my TBR list for a while, but some people have already read it, and honestly, I have not heard that it's a 4-star read. I've heard it's more like a 3-star read. So we'll see. And last but not least, another book that I'm reading for my book club, which is The Mercies. This is about a group of women in Norway during the 17th century when all their husbands were out on a fishing boat. It crashes, it sinks. So all the males are gone from this, I guess you can say, part of the country. So it's up to the women to do both men and women's work and try to bring back everything and get everything back to where it needs to be without them. You could say I really gravitate towards books that have like strong female characters in it. So I have a feeling I'm really gonna like this one. And this is also another one that I have not really heard a whole lot about. I just happened to come across it on Goodreads like several months ago. So I just always wanted to read this one. So I almost forgot about this book because it was so small. I didn't see it among all the other books. Year of Wonders. Now this is about the Black Plague, I believe, in the 17th century. So another plague one. You can see there's a lot of themes going on with these books that I've picked out to go through time. I know this isn't like a 50 book or 100 book haul. It's just a small haul. I have a certain amount of books at a time to help me focus on those books. Definitely let me know if you've read any of these books are and what your thoughts are on it. And also if you have any recommendations, because obviously I'm going to be reading these for quite a while. And I actually have a whole lot more that are around these books too that happened during this time too. So like I said, I think I'm going to probably be spending the rest of the year on these books. So definitely let me know if you have any recommendations. I want to read as much as I can for the rest of the year.